What is up, guys? We're here live in the Nucleus Hub, and today I'm very excited because we have our special guest, and he's going to be the speaker at our next Kinetic event. He's incredible at what he does. He's truly a master. He's serving tons of people in the creator economy and in the student body. Let me help welcome Greg Levy. What's up, brother?
What's up, Anthony? Thanks so much for having me. I'm really looking forward to the event and, love everything that's going on here at Nucleus.
Well, I appreciate you, man. First of all, spending time with us today and wanting to be part of this next Kinetic event. It's one of those things that, we strive for here at Nucleus is being able to give information, knowledge, tools to our different members and as well the people coming in here who want to experience this for the first time so they can learn more about what is important in the creator economy. And that's something that we're going to dive in today because this Kinetic event is about the legal insights for creators in the creator economy. And I think one of the biggest things that, people always put to the side, right? Everybody gets excited about, let's create content already. Let's get out there. Let's work with the brands. Let's go get viral. Let's go create. Let's go collaborate. But then they forget the legal aspect of it. And because they're like, but that's not the fun part, And I think that's such a huge and crucial component, even as myself that I've learned more just listening to guys like yourself, people that that are in your network, and I'm just mind blown, whoa, let me take a step back here. This is bigger than what I thought in so many other ways that, number one, it'll protect you. Number two, you can actually benefit from more, even make more money, see if you're getting screwed, or as well, if you're the brand, you can protect yourself. So I'm excited about today's talk. But before we dive in, I would love for you to just introduce yourself to everybody.
Yeah, thanks again. And, really looking forward to this. Greg Levy, I am an associate dean of the University of Miami Law School. I also help found and currently direct the Entertainment Arts and Sports Law program. It's one of the only programs in the country and the only program that includes those three industries under one umbrella. The way this program came about is we saw a huge need, a huge interest in lawyers, the next generation of industry leaders in around entertainment, arts, and sport. And we wanted to create a space to teach practical lawyering skills through the lens of this, ever-evolving industry. And it's one where maybe at one point entertainment, arts, and sports would have been three separate programs, three separate industries, but you can't talk about this space without seeing the collision that's constantly occurring in these three spaces. So we have a program, we educate, like I said, the next generation of lawyers. We run conferences and community events all year as a way to create connectivity and then, of course, bring together community.
And there's something about that you're doing that's very special. And the most important aspect of this is that you're one of the only people doing this. And I think the fact that you've taken the initiative to spearhead this, especially, amongst the students and the future lawyers, number one, you're giving them another way to see that there's more options on the table of just, doing your standard law, but showing them how they can play into the strengths of these new industries that are coming to life in the creator economy. And I think that's really fascinating. So for you, what kind of opened your idea of rolling this out and kind of paving your way in the creator economy and being like, this is an area I have to dive into?
Yeah, well, I think the creator economy piece of this program has been something more recent development. And I think it was that as we continued to see the program evolve and continue to see the interests of the students, as well as you got to always keep an eye on what's happening around you, right? And even if you just look at the University of Miami as a community, as a campus beyond the law school, we have tons of content creators, right? Some who have made, been quite famous, right? And what we saw was at the end of the day, it's easy. Well, creating content is hard, right? But to put yourself out there is easy, right? You need a cell phone, you need an internet connection, right? But at the same time, so this whole idea of like you were talking about earlier, like going viral, like you can go viral, right? But then what happens when you go viral, right? How do you monetize that? How do you protect yourself, right? And we saw, creators just creating and having a lot of success, but at the same time, not necessarily having a lot of the protections in place. And we said, okay, why don't we create something? Why don't we do something that can both educate the current students, but then educate the wider community? That's lawyers who are, entering the space or emerging in this space. That's lawyers who are established in that space. That's brands, that's agencies, and that's also creators. Because something that we pride ourselves on within this program at the University of Miami is we want to create spaces where we're having all of the different players in the ecosystem interact and engage and have these conversations, because it's important for the lawyers, to know how the creators are thinking and what their questions are, right? It's important for the creators to see what are the lawyers saying, what are some of the things, what are the processes, what are the checklists that they should go through as they are creating and growing as a content creator.
And that's a cool thing, like a lot of, just interacting with, some of the, students who are becoming lawyers in the program. A lot of them are creators themselves. So the fact that they're putting themselves in that position to create and put themselves in the shoes of creators, like you said, I think it just makes them so much more suited and stronger to be able to know how to be able to approach the legal side of things, which I think is really unique. And I think it's an important, component for the future of these lawyers to put themselves in that position, because they'll be able to know how to best protect, defend, guide, whatever it is that they have to do to help these other creators. And I think that's truly fascinating. Now, for you, what have you seen kind of like the biggest, I guess, the biggest common issues that's happening right now on the legal side of the creator world for creators? What are the most common things that you think are happening?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's so much, but I'll just try to hit on a few. I think that I think the first and foremost thing is around like the role of the creator and the lawyer, right? I think a lot of times people are just intimidated by lawyers, and there's a lot of different reasons why. I think a lot of people think there's inaccessibility because of cost, right? Oh my God, what I have a conversation with a lawyer and I'm going to get a bill, right? And then who knows what problems will get uncovered during that conversation, which will lead to bill.
And here's another bill,
right? Exactly, right. And so that is a perception that's out there, right?
Good point.
I think there's also the idea that I don't know anything about the law, so when I have a conversation with a lawyer, I'm not even going to, they're going to be talking above me. I'm not going to be able to follow them. And then the third is, I think you go to a lawyer when you have a problem, right? Like I get in trouble, I get a letter, I get a cease and desist, I get something, and then I got to find a lawyer to help me fix the problem. Instead, the approach that I think we like to teach about and to think about, and we wish that the world would move more to, as lawyer as part of the business team, using the lawyer proactively, right? Yeah. Because I can tell you from a cost perspective, it's going to be a lot cheaper if you're proactively protecting, monetizing, licensing your brand, doing things along the way.
And it's also seen more positive.
100%. And you'll learn along the way too. I mean, that's the beauty about bringing, lawyers, creators, brands in the same spaces, right? And working alongside of each other, because, I think it's also important for the creator, who's their own CEO, who's their own entrepreneur at the end of the day, to understand the legal issues that they may encounter, so that they can, know when they do need to call the lawyer, right?
So here, I guess this is the question is, for creators out there who are, looking for these kind of lawyers, again, you said it's one of these things you wish more lawyers are following and doing and actively, I guess we can say, learning about this side of the creator world. Where can creators find these kind of lawyers? Because at least, personally for me, until I actually connected with you and we became friends, a few years back, and learning more about you and then tapping into your network, I can maybe name one or two people in the sports and entertainment space that I knew were lawyers. And even then, not to the deepness of conversations that you're having with your fellow peers around this space. So where can these creators get access to some of these lawyers?
Yeah, I mean, I think the beauty is the lawyers that are in this space understand that in this professional services industry, lawyers have to be content creators as well now, right? So I think my answer to that is on Instagram and TikTok, right? I mean, you're starting to see a trend of lawyers who are out there creating content on YouTube, right? Have channels who are, having, conversations, podcasts, and there's a lot out there in terms of, the lawyer as the creator. And I think that the lawyer who gets that, like you just said about the students who are creators as well, the lawyer who gets that, probably going to be a better fit for that type of client.
Definitely powerful. And now moving into the side of quick little tips for, our creators out there. And I'm excited because I know a lot of the people that are going to be coming in, a lot of our creators that are members and people coming here for the first time, they're going to be able to come in, sit down and listen to you and our other speakers, dive in much deeper on these actual topics and categories, ask questions. But for the ones that are listening right now, what are some quick tips, some quick do's, some quick don'ts, and some things to really start paying attention to right now and that they can do on their own, just to enhance the protection of their their brand, their business, what they're doing online, and how they can better as well navigate some of these brand deals or have better conversations or things to look out on some of these contracts. What are some quick things you can leave off the audience?
Yeah, look, I think, like I said, use the lawyer proactively. I think you want to protect your brand. I think that idea of protecting the brand, it may seem like, a cost prohibitive thing, but it will pay dividends in the end, particularly as you grow. I think you also want to, as a creator, you really want to think about grants of rights when you're doing these brand deals. What are you giving? How could you narrow the grant of rights, right? If somebody's going to be, asking, paying you to do something, right? Make sure it's as narrowly tailored as possible from an exclusivity perspective, right? So if you want to work with another brand in that category, you can, right? And those are
kind of like non-compete issues and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, so think about it. If you're working if instead of saying like the beverage industry, right, broadly, you would say like the sparkling drink, or you narrowly tailor it so that you can then work with a sports drink or something like that, right? And so those tips, in terms of being able to monetize. The other thing is like I said, in terms of some of these rights that you're granting in a deal. What happens when the deal expires? Do you have to keep that post up, right? So because, in theory, like it may be to the advantage of the creator, so it shows that you've done these types of brand deals at the same time. If 2 years passes and you get another brand in that same category that comes along and wants to do a deal, you may be more valuable to that brand if they don't have that trail of you having on your Instagram or whatever, another brand.
But then it's funny because I also do see a lot of creators where later on they want to like change up their style. They want to get away from maybe more the influencer and they want to build more of their like services business. And then like, let me hide or delete some of these old posts and brand posts. Well, then I know that can also be a problem on the brand side of things.
Right, contract.
Where now the brand's like, wait, hold up. You were supposed to keep that post up.
Right.
You got rid of it. So it kind of like, it's a two-way street kind of
100%. And, I mean, look, a lot of times if you don't ask for it, you don't know. And that's why having good counsel and good lawyers on, in your camp, I think are really, really, really important. But even just things like if you're going to create content for a brand and they're going to use that in paid advertising, right? Can they use that? Does there have to be approvals? What's the term in which they can use that? Does it extend beyond the brand deal? Things of that nature.
Makes sense. And what if there's two creators who they have their own business brand and maybe they want to collaborate and promote each other's brands? How would you go around that?
So I think two creators working together. I think look. For that, it's always going to be around, ensuring you're getting on the same page. Again, understanding your rights, understanding who owns what from an intellectual property standpoint and how it's being exploited and what everybody's being required to do,
I love that. And last question when it comes to a quick tip, a lot of these creators, obviously they're working in a way where they're going to get compensated, right? With these brands, hey, you do X, Y, and Z, we're going to pay you X, Y, and Z. But do you recommend that, let's say the brand just says, hey, we just want to give you this, or let's say it's just like it's the creators just doing it for free as a favor for the brand. Maybe it's a friend that owns a brand or somebody they know and they just want to do it as a one time, but they just want to build up their brand portfolio and they're new to creating content and they're like, hey, I just got to get some brands under my belt. I'll do it for free. You don't have to compensate me. Just because they have to create that perception so they can then later on get paid by more brands. Do you still recommend that creator and that brand to have something signed contractually?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, what maybe should be and what does actually happen in reality, I understand is not always, is not always what happens. But I think under ideal circumstances, yes, because again, some of the things that I'm saying, you want to make sure that even if it's an in-kind kind of deal where they're giving you something, right? There is consideration, there is some form of compensation, even if it may not be cash, right? And you want to make sure that you're not blocking yourself from doing other things. So in the ideal world, yes, it is. But I think, look, at the end of the day, I get all those things, and it depends what leverage you have, and it depends where you are in your journey as a creator.
Awesome. Greg, this has been amazing. I'm really looking forward to this Kinetic event, having you there as one of the speakers. What can people expect, listening to you May 31st here at 6:30 p.m. in Nucleus? What can they expect from you? What are some of the things that you're going to touch upon? I know we talked about certain topics today, but what are some other things that maybe we didn't talk about here that you're excited to share, that you feel that they're going to be able to go home with and take, and that they can literally apply right at the moment that they talk to you and they leave those doors?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, what we want to communicate is, first of all, the role of the lawyer in your business team as a creator, the hot legal issues that creators are dealing with, and, really issue spotting, right? It's key, as you're creating, a friend of mine who's a lawyer in this space, posted something recently where he said, creating with the legal in mind. And, it is something that I think in the back of your mind, creators don't maybe love to hear. You don't want it to stunt the creativity. And I don't think it was meant like that, but it's meant to say, you do need to have these legal considerations. Again, it's protecting you and maximizing your potential commercial rights on this.
I'm excited. If I'm excited to listen to this, I know our audience is going to be too. And what are you looking forward to the most, Greg, out of this Kinetic event?
Look, for me, it's all about connection and connectivity. I mean, that's what big part of what I do, what we do, what Nucleus is all about, right? I think that people meeting, is just so important, who may not always be getting together in their day-to-day lives, right? Because creators need lawyers, lawyers need clients. I mean, this is going to be a time when people could not only learn, but also connect and potentially collaborate.
1,000%. Man, it's been a pleasure. This has been great. Tremendous insight already. It's only going to get deeper at the next event. Guys, please make sure to go follow Greg. Where can people find you? Where can they connect with you? Go show him some love. Interact with him maybe even before the event. Plug us away.
Yeah, so LinkedIn is where I post the most. I would just Greg Levy on LinkedIn.
Awesome. And guys, May 31st, 6:30 p.m., this is a very, very important event. I would say, obviously, we've done many events. All of them are great. All of them are important. But the reason why I say this is very important is because if you really want to take your brand seriously and you really want to be a serious creator and you want to really leverage and monetize and you want to grow not only your personal brand, but your business brand, I think this is going to be an event that's exactly for you, and to learn how to be able to protect yourself, scale that brand properly, everything from brand deals on the creator side, on the brand side, to meeting amazing speakers like Greg and our other speakers. And who knows as well, maybe you might be working with Greg. Maybe we'll be working with one of the other speakers. Maybe that might introduce you to the legal team that you're looking for. Like we mentioned before, where can you meet other lawyers that are in this space that understand this kind of law? What starts here, coming to these kind of events, coming to these ecosystems that provide you with those type of people. And right here at Nucleus, that's what we want to do. So at this event, you'll be able to have access to the lawyers that are playing heavy in the creator economy. We're excited. We can't wait to have you there. May 31st, 6:30 p.m. Let's get it.
See you there.